Alright, water time. There it is. And so now we're into best of 5 territory. In the upper right of Eternal Empire, he is Exxon's Geralt. In the bottom left is the blue Terran. He is Mao's HeRoMaRinE, as he has been for the past 6+ years. I feel like Mao's just, like, forgot, I'm not gonna lie, that he was kind of on the team, you know, because at this point it's been 4 years, 3 or 4 years since HeRoMaRinE really got back into the swing of things and started streaming and then started doing really well despite streaming so much, and obviously now he's the true contender to be top 3, top 4 in Europe. But there was a time before that, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, I believe. Time is a concept, though, and I could be wrong. But where he just, I mean, he just, you know, I think he was, like, focusing on his studies. And he was like, I'll also play occasionally, but I'm, like, dedicating to it. And I feel like this was also, like, after Mao's stopped Deer's contracts. Deer used to be on Mao's a long time ago. 7 years ago at this point. So it was after that, and it was just like HeRoMaRinE being like, yeah, I'll be around, you know, but I'm doing other things right now. And they just were like, okay. And they just forgot. Because I remember, like, 5 years ago or something, looking up Mao's. Or, like, when HeRoMaRinE was first getting back into it and, like, really doing really well. So I remember being like, oh yeah, it's awesome, HeRoMaRinE's back, he's, you know, doing pretty well, it's cool to see him join up in these cups. And we looked up Mao's, like the website Mao's, and we were like, is he still on it? Like, hold on here. And now he was still there. So, I'd love to be a fly in the wall of those negotiations, but obviously, speaking of today, right now, here, it's obviously a fantastic pickup. And I guess they've treated him well enough that he doesn't want to go to any other team, so that's awesome. But for a while there, it was like, Mao's is in Starcraft? But they're keeping on to this guy. And that's good, because HeRoMaRinE not only continues to be top 8 very frequently, if not top 4, he is still one of the more exciting Terrans to go up against the likes of Cyril and Raynor. And he's a fantastic streamer. Everyone loves watching his stream. And it's also, you know, he's the reason we call this the Big Game Cup instead of the EPT Open Cup. He wins these so damn frequently. Geralt is going to try and screw things up, though. He's going to try, and I have a feeling he's going to fail just because I've seen this tried against HeRoMaRinE before. And it's failed. Now, these guys play a lot of ladder games, a lot of other tournaments that I don't get to watch as well, so obviously one game or one series, not the end-all be-all, but I have seen HeRoMaRinE go up against unscouted Dark Shrines and still be fine. So, that's kind of what I'm predicting. But, you know, to specify, it has not been scouted. The Reaper Cliff was walled off entirely. Twilight Council, you could be like, oh, it wasn't researching, it makes me a little suspicious, but what if you caught it just before it was researching, or was after it was researching? In this case, it would have been just before, perhaps. So... a Raven's on the way, so... you know. HeRoMaRinE might be reading into the Twilight Council, not researching. He might be. Other things that are a little suspicious, let's check. He still had 3 units out. You don't count pylons, you can't get into the main. Third base timing, maybe? Gateway timing, I think, is pretty similar to what you do with your point stock. I don't know, it's probably just coincidence. Probably just coincidence. He's getting a Raven as some Terran builds do. They get Ravens. And it also might be a little bit of like, I've played this guy before, I've played other guys like him, all these up-and-coming Purdosses, try and throw in a little cheeky DT rush, thinking I won't be prepared. And well, if he's thinking that, he's absolutely fucking right. Geralt is absolutely trying to get a cheeky win, and it's not gonna work. HeRoMaRinE with some excellent just sense of the game. Knows what people do to him in tournaments, and I don't know. There's definitely something a bit magical about this guy, as there is with anyone who is a tournament contender for as long as a guy like HeRoMaRinE is. You know, there's like, we talk about the greats of Starcraft, and obviously we usually talk about a lot of Koreans, talk about Serral and Raynor. Anyone who's been at the top of their region for a long time, it's always some feels a little bit. He's like, ah, okay, I guess it's just kind of magic. All right, yeah. He makes the right decisions when everyone else would be like, everyone else is like, this is the right decision most of the time. HeRoMaRinE's like, this is the right decision, and you're like, well, I can't really argue with you, because he is currently winning this game. Now, Geralt did not dedicate very much to that Dark Templar rush. He did lose the DT, but he didn't go 3 DTs deep and then lose all of them. So there's still a potential here, but this is actually setting up perfectly that whole narrative I was building up before this this path started. You cheeky little fucker. Are you real? That Reaper just got a scout in the robotics bay. What? Anyways. So, anyways, yeah, the thing I was saying was that a lot of these up-and-coming Prodosses who get here and then, unfortunately, usually kind of get defeated pretty soundly by a guy like HeRoMaRinE, it feels like they get into bad positions and then they play well enough that you go, oh, well, you could see how they could play really well, you know, but they die. No! This is dangerous. There could have been a third tank sieged. He doesn't even get the tank. Whew. Yeah. They end up playing a game where they're already behind. They play it out very well, but they're already behind, and they're not going to make any big comebacks, unfortunately. So this is literally one of those games where it's like, well, HeRoMaRinE's he's not a killer. He doesn't go and just like immediately try and kill the guy after getting a good lead. He waits for his timing that he's been setting up for and he's been macroing for. So Geralt has this little brief moment in time where it looks okay. He's getting a 4th base, getting up to Colossus charge, trying to get double upgrades, blah, blah, blah. But he's already a bit behind because his Dark Shrine did not really work out. And even if he was even, this power punch that HeRoMaRinE's going to hit him with off of 3 bases is going to be really brutal to defend. On top of that, DTs didn't work out very well for him. Funnily enough, against HeRoMaRinE's push, I wonder if DT Blink would have been worth going for. Just get the tanks out of the equation, but you know, I don't know if we'll see that in a macro sense too often. We've seen it once, all right? One of the War Chest games. Someone used DT Blink on top of tanks, but right now it's kind of just it's a harassment tool, or it's like a nightmare 2-base all-in tool. All right, catches the attack. It is a very, very, very scary attack. I mean, incredibly scary. Geralt is only down 20 army supply though. He's trying to get the Storm. Might have been taking a risk there, showing the High Templar so that HeRoMaRinE moves away, but obviously we know he doesn't have Storm, so it's a bit of a bluff. Not only that, HeRoMaRinE's have a guy who would split and maybe kill those 2 High Templars regardless if they had Storm or not. Not quite gonna get that Storm. Oh, this is awkward. Oh, Geralt moving in with all those charge lots down, or choke. Anti-armor missile doesn't really hit the charge lot so much, but I don't think he even needs it. Interference matrix comes down before the feedback does, and Geralt, I think he just took too bad of a starting fight there. He's about to have Storm, and that will help, but the tanks have already repositioned. He's lost so many of his zealots, and he just lost that 1 High Templar. The other one is the one that used feedback, it looks like, so no Storm for that one. This is just too strong, man. The Zealot's gonna try and come in from the backside, but a little mistimed, a little too late. Kind of collapsing on the Terran army, but not enough. Not quite enough units. 3 Colossus still standing strong, but now the tanks are tearing them down. Bio is getting very, very weak, but Geralt has lost the majority of his army, and he's lost the 3rd Nexus. So even if he does hold, and he does, just barely, is it actually a good game for him? I don't know. I don't think so. Imagine if he hadn't lost as many zealots as he did, having to transfer from the 3rd to the 4th or try and take that fight. Imagine if he had set up those zealots a little more well-timed. God, I mean, just imagine a bunch of things, right? And HeRoMaRiNE's already ready with round 2, and Geralt is absolutely not prepared. He doesn't have any upgrade advantages anymore, his +1 armor. Just finished for HeRoMaRiNE, and he doesn't quite have Storm, I believe, on those High Templars. 5 more seconds, 5 more seconds, 5 more seconds. Disruptor's gonna try and get a shot, but it's gonna get sniped instead. And the High Templar, still no storms, still no storms. Tanks on the backside are taken out. Disruptor this time going for the gold, and ends up getting last place when it hits absolutely nothing. And that's gonna be it. GG. Geralt is really quick about getting into the game too. Already setting up on Death Aura. Look at his little paws. Look at his little chicken legs. In the top left of Death Aura, we have Geralt. In the bottom right, up 1, it is HeRoMaRiNE. HeRoMaRiNE setting up for a very strong 3-base push, getting at 3rd base nice and quick with no repercussions. These did not do any damage, nor did they have any potential to do, like, building damage, canceling a CC. Killing barracks, killing tech labs, didn't kill any army, didn't kill any SCVs. They're a far cry from a attack that could actually do damage, as in, like, I have more units than you. You have less units when you have DTs. Probably one of the worst options to go for against someone who's trying to be greedy with a 3rd CC. Because, well, depends on if they're prepared or not. But certainly the worst option if they're going for that, plus a Raven opener. Some better options would have been Blink Stalkers. 4-gate Blink, maybe a little bit difficult for HeRoMaRiNE to hold. Yeah, you know, would have to have his tanks in very, very good positions, would have to invest in maybe a bunker on the high ground. Maybe the Stalkers just simply deny him from his 3rd for a long time. Charge that all in. Something you only ever see on ladder, really, but in a pro game, once or twice, cheeky. Maybe get done a lot of damage. But DTs, completely blind countered. They just... Geralt was never going to do very much. And again, just kudos to him for being in a bad spot with the opener and still making it look like a decent game afterwards. I think he was hoping for not just a not Raven opener, you know, obviously, but also for something a little more aggressive from HeRoMaRiNE. Maybe those Hellions come out and he's blocked off, because he did well off his natural with 2 gateways. And then those Hellions are pushed back, no problem. Then he has DTs run in. Suddenly you got something going for you. But in this game, his gamble is going to be on a proxy Stargate, which I think is less of a gamble than DTs. I mean, DTs, they can be annoying, but they don't seem to be annoying against pros. They're mostly those early... Oh my god. So, I don't even know how you just don't even tap. Like, how do you not just tap out of this game? You know, like, it's really not the worst thing to be scouted. It's really not. I was about to go into a whole spiel, so let me just continue what I was saying. I like the Stargate option because I feel like DTs really aren't like, they don't bother pros in the early game. DTs in our games, they put a DT every little step of the way and it gets really obnoxious. The counterattack with DTs gets really obnoxious, but for the pros, the only time DTs can be really obnoxious is when it's entirely blindsiding them. They had no idea, no Raven, no orbital scan, or that it's late game, it's like DT playing on top of planetaries, right? A Stargate, at the very least, while not enough to do serious damage to a third CC player, and unfortunately it is once again a third CC, it doesn't do a lot of damage to them. At least it provides, I think, a benefit that is normal. It's you know, DTs, they're an investment that doesn't seem to ever help after, you know, like that last game. But an Oracle, many people consider, you know, putting resources into a Stargate and an Oracle actually worth it, even if all it ever does is cast Revelation. In this case, he was trying to get those Marine counts a little bit lower so the Oracle could swoop in and go for the kill, but HeRoMaRinE has been microing his heart out against this. Despite not having a bunker, he has managed to survive against the onslaught of gateway units and the Oracle. Very nicely done. Even barely saves the Reaper. It's actually kind of amazing. Like, HeRoMaRinE took a chance not going for a bunker there. A kind of silly chance. Like, easy peasy lemon squeezy, get a bunker. And then you don't have to worry about this. And instead he just microed. Kind of amazing. So anyways, the Oracle, as I said, if it only ever casts Revelation, it's still kind of a useful thing to have. More useful than DTs, I think. Unless the game gets really long, and then I guess you have DTs for DT Blink, but it's going to cast Revelation, going to know where the army is. It's also obviously scouting the third CC, where the Dark Shrine did not, right? It got bopped halfway into the main base. So, two good things happening here. Oracles are alive. Oracle saw the third CC. Maybe Geralt can now make a little bit of, you know, greedier options back at home. Maybe double forge immediately or something like that. He's not going to do that, but maybe that could have been it. Maybe more chronos on those probes. Yeah, you know? Because there's really no harassment from HeRoMaRinE coming out. He once again bops that soccer out of the way for the full scout into the natural. This time a little less revealing, however. Just a Twilight Council, which is totally anticipated. HeRoMaRinE goes for a single upgrade, is now working on a starport. Seriously, when I said there's not much harassment from HeRoMaRinE coming out here, I was real. No Liberator, no Medevac. A couple of Adepts go into the natural, which is a little bit cheeky. Oracle's joining in as well before the missile turret's done. 3 Adepts for 3 SCVs, not exactly fair. Look how many SCVs are one shot away from death, though. Ugh. Geralt wants them too. Geralt saw it. He's like, oh, I want it. Stasis trap? Yeah, HeRoMaRinE sees it. Gets 2 SCVs, that's it. Stasis trap? I mean, usually you'd be scared of not having stasis traps defensively, but because HeRoMaRinE went for a 3cc build, not a 2-base push, I mean, you have some time to harass the SCVs before having to worry about stasis traps back at home. I do want to see stasis traps back at home, though. And, of course, Revelations on the army, which so far has been missed. This Oracle is going to lose her life, I believe. Oh, barely not. Barely got out of that vision range. But, I hope Geralt noticed the army. Oh, very, very bold blink. Very bold blink. Oh, no. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, no, Geralt. No, stop. No, God. Oh, no. Oh, he's completely missing the army. Oh, this is why you get oracles. No. No. Geralt. Oh, not like this. Instant reaction, but it's just not good enough. Base trade's not really going to be favorable for him, because he needs those zealots with those stalkers on either side, honestly. Plus these aren't even charge lots. Like, oh, he wanted to buy so much more time. HeRoMaRinE moving out with a bio before the medevacs were prepared, I think, messed up Geralt's timing in his head. He should have been able to find that army and buy a little more time. But even just the reinforcements here are taking out most of the stalkers. Oracles tried their best to help, but there's just barely enough Marines. And that's that. That is that. Kind of a heartbreaking game. I mean, the Stargate being found definitely started things off on the wrong foot. It didn't feel good, even though I think it is one of those things that can be okay. Just like his Dark Templar build last game wasn't like, you know, he didn't throw away 7 Dark Templar, he just threw away 1, but I don't know, both situations seem to feel good, and in this game specifically, he didn't use the Revelation for, he didn't use the Oracles for the one thing they would be best at, which is stopping him from being surprised, and like, it's just unlucky. It is. Geralt's a very good player. But HeRoMaRinE certainly seems to have his number. He's staying in this game, but it's really not close. It's really not. I mean, it's just a game where you're just really frustrated, probably. You don't want to leave. GG. Whew. Everdream will possibly be our last map. And the winner is going to face... Hold on. Drum roll. Is going to face... Oh, I thought it was done. It's not done. Just kidding. So they're going to face the winner of Soul versus Clem. In the top right, he is Geralt. In the bottom left, it is HeRoMaRinE. Geralt's getting a lot of practice versus some sharp timings there. I mean, the Oracles were supposed to scout that, cast Revelation on it or not. They're supposed to at least see it. And then they should have had at least one stasis trap, you know, at least trying to buy some time. It turns out Geralt's insistence on using his oracles offensively didn't end up being what killed him the most. There were other factors that would have made a defense in general very difficult, but I think that's what killed him the most, is those oracles not scouting that. But it was also a bit tricky from HeRoMaRinE. A lot of, like, the general advice amongst those, like, macro builds anyways, like, obviously if you see a 2-Rax proxy to you, don't wait for medevacs to show up. Defend the 2-Rax proxy. But otherwise, the general advice of facing Terran is that they'll move out when they have medevacs. That's when it's safe to move out. That's when their army is complete. They have something to heal the stim. They have something to evacuate if things get scary. So that's kind of the general advice. See when the starport forms, see when it adds reactors, see when the medevacs pop out, then start being scared. But there are definitely situations where moving out with your army and then having the medevacs boost across to help you ends up paying off. Sometimes it backfires. Without those medevacs, the army gets found by blink stalkers and gets picked apart. Or, there's charge lots and they can't pick up and leave, something like that. But sometimes it just suddenly makes the attack a little bit faster and makes you lose track of the attack as well. Because again, you were waiting a little bit for the medevacs. You're like, okay, I got 5 seconds before I need to worry about this. And pop, suddenly it's there. Very brutal way to end last game. After a disheartening start as well. Oracle being found immediately kind of sucked. The one sucky thing here is that HeRoMaRinE has actually been doing really well in general in these tournaments. Last week he also kind of bopped Showtime, honestly, with a lot of the 3cc builds he's been showing in this series. The unfortunate thing is that the 3cc build it almost feels like it's going to be a trap, right? Like, I don't think it's the best build to ever exist. Like, oh my god, no one can defeat it, blah blah blah. But right now it feels like a very good build. HeRoMaRiNE's using it against people who cannot punish him. And if they try and punish him, this is where the trap comes in, where they're like, okay, enough of this bullshit. You're going to go 3cc again. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm going to, you know, 7, 8 gate all in you or something. It feels like the trap is that here we're going to be like, aha, my 3cc build can actually hold against that as well, because he's so defensive. He's got bunkers, he's got some city, he's got tanks, he's got whatever. So, it makes him a scary player to go up against when he has this, like, this build that you think you're supposed to be able to do something against, or at least be able to match his other thing. Like, oh, I scouted, I know what he's doing, let me just match it. And then you just die anyways, and you're like, super cool. It's tough. And then, of course, on top of that, he could do anything else. He could do any other build. And right now, he's not going to do the 3cc build. He's gone into a factory opener, which was scouted by the Adepts. Sees the Hellions move past. Killed the Reaper. So doesn't have to worry about getting any position bopped out of the way. So yeah, Soccer's going to fill that hole. And a fairly quick third Nexus. So pretty much the best start for Geralt so far. Just kind of unfortunate, yeah. The Adepts are? Oh, it came home. I would have anticipated it being over here, not the soccer. Alright. So I did see the swap up of the factory. It didn't see the second barracks, though, which is a little... that kind of sucks. That's supposed to, of course, but... For Geralt, his scouting is a bit limited. You don't get that fast an observer. You don't get a sentry with this. Maybe could have, but it didn't. So you don't have much that scouts directly into the main. But you do have map presence with Blink Stalkers, so that's nice. And Geralt, I think, is setting up to kind of hopefully bop whatever 2-base attack is on the way. HeRoMaRiNE's 2-base attack is going to include Widow Mines, not tanks. But having that charge prioritized alongside hopefully more than just 2 additional gateways. Could have a lot of units. Not going to have their upgrades, just a little bit scary, but... Could have a lot of units. Nah, okay. Not gonna go for that. Very, stable PvT macro opener. Single forge, decent number of gateways. Checking on the army fight. So not checking back at home against the Widow Mine drop. Kablooey! My god. 8 probes go down. Putting Geralt down by 5. Now, that's actually not catastrophic, because HeRoMaRiNE has a very, you know, in context, late third. Not comparable to the last 2 games, and it's not even on location, so it's actually not that fast. Like, 8 probes is not death. 8 more probes might be, though. Please pull the probes. Oh my god. Alright, this time he's gonna pull them away, but now he's gotta deal with the actual fight. It's not that many medevacs, I think he'll be fine. Shield battery goes down, but Geralt gets some serious revenge by killing a medevac, only losing 2 probes and a zealot to the Widow Mines. Natural low is not being paid attention to. God, HeRoMaRiNE, stop it! He's already dead! Stop it! Stop it! 10 more probes go down, and the medevac is gonna be able to boost to safety. Oh my god. Now, to be clear, Geralt's not actually dead, but, like, I feel just mentality of his best of 5 he is. You know, like, oh my god. He's actually smacking down the main push so easily. But he's still down 14. He's down 14 workers now. He's still down in workers. He's not gonna lose many more in the middle. Okay. He's not gonna lose many more in the main, but 14 workers, starting to miss macro maybe a little bit. Was supposed to be building probes, supposed to be maybe adding on technology, but he's had to pull away so often that he doesn't fill his gas geysers. And down 15 workers as HeRoMaRiNE takes that supposedly later third, right? Oh god. Tries to go for a counter, but HeRoMaRiNE's macro is too good. He was a bit desperate, you could feel it. Does not work out. So many more stalkers. Oh my god, he actually had so many more stalkers. If they were all here, then it actually might have worked out. But he lost so many already. And he lost the Immortal, and he lost the Warp Prism, because HeRoMaRiNE was unexpectedly prepared. This actually would have been an amazing timing. Geralt would have had a bigger army supply against a Terran that didn't have combat shields. That was actually... Oh my god. Well, Geralt needs to get his guys back on gas, or needs to take a 4th base. He is banking some serious cash. He has no mining. He's focusing entirely on these stalkers, but oh, add-on disruptors, add-on... I don't know. Add on something with technology. No. Geralt doesn't realize he didn't put guys back on gas. 100%. This can't be intentional. 4th base does come down, but there's a reason you're banking so much gas despite only being on 49 workers. Oh, man. He's actually making some good decisions, but everything just seems to go topsy-turvy against HeRoMaRinE. Zealots on the right side, not going to find them much damage as they were hoping for. Stalkers on the left, and not finding HeRoMaRinE out of position. But, ooh, these... Oh, my god, the Zealots actually finding so much. Where do the Zealots even come from? What? I was watching these Zealots, but I guess maybe more were warped in, and they went north instead of south. Oh, my good god, that was actually pretty good. Geralt, if you would just saturate your gases... Oh, maybe this is on purpose. Can he actually use this much... these many minerals? I don't think he can. Like, he's just having trouble spending all of his minerals despite intentionally not building up his gas count. If he had 11 gateways, he could use all these minerals, but he's still only at 8, so... the War Prism goes down. SED pull against someone with absolutely no splash, basically no technology. 5 shield batteries. You know, that's the best you can do here. Geralt. Oh, he's gonna use the Zealots to make sure this is an all-in anyways, I guess, but... Oh, from behind, grabbing a tank. Very nicely done. Oh, no, grab it! Oh, look at this micro there. Geralt, if you win this, you madman. Haven't been mining gas for the last 2 minutes. Looks like he finally got back on a gas, but... It was oh, you know what? He probably tried to warp in a sentry or two and realized he couldn't. But now, I mean, the time is gone to try and use force field, I think. Just use all the Zealots all the time. Stalkers on the backside, Zealots on the front, but the Zealots are hitting those SCVs exactly like HeRoMaRinE wants them to do. Nothing is actually hitting the bio hard enough. I'm afraid HeRoMaRinE is still going to be winning this. Geralt, oh, just constantly finding himself in positions that he can't recover from. Even with the bio overstemmed and the medevac's out of juice, Geralt has now run out of money. He did kill the 3rd orbital, but it doesn't matter. GG. HeRoMaRinE with a 3-0. Advances on. Just too good, man.